Good evening, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. So we got another Sunday coaching series. Mobile homes, mobile home investings, the all ins and outs and everything that goes with mobile homes. So before we get started onto that, I want to talk about a little bit about the shadow event. So the shadow event, which is a full day investing, training, educating, name it as you will, where you get to come out by my side and learn. Basically, it's more so step away from behind a book, behind a screen, behind a computer, and come out and really see what it takes to invest. You know, I started that event probably about almost 5 years ago. And it was because of how I learned best. It seems like most people can learn better if you just show them. You can teach them, you can send them documents, the whole PDFs, whatever. All that is great information. But there's a lot of stuff that goes in there that is not explained. And it's the reason behind because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff happening. And even if you do come by my side, I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to coach you, guide you, etc. The the best teacher that you will ever approach is your first deal. That's all there is to it. Your first deal. That's what's really going to teach you. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. All those things are going to come up because you got to remember when it comes to, and not just mobile home investing, but any type of investing, it's no deal is the same. No investment is the same, meaning that everything is just a little bit differently. And it's up to you to get in there and keep moving forward. That's what we're trying to coach. That's what we're trying to guide you. And you're going to stumble upon some of these things that you're going to say, I don't know what to do with it. Should I go about it this way? Should I go about it that way? Do not guesstimate, do not guess. That's what we talk about at the events. It's like this is where you got to network because so many investors that we had there is, you got some investors that have done 2 deals, some have done 10 deals, some have mobile home parks, some have wholesale mobile home parks. Is a potential that you could network and get phone numbers, contacts, emails, etc where you maybe you'd reach out to Joe, Bill, Sammy, Blue, whoever it may be, and say, "Hey, I'm dealing with this issue. Have you done something like this? Maybe have you run into this some type of deal?" And it just turns out that they just got through dealing with something like that. That's what a network is. Okay. And that's what we're trying to teach is, I don't believe in a competition. I don't believe in somebody trying to outdo me. I feel that with every mobile home investor that comes into, obviously any investor, realtor, broker, whoever that comes into the mobile home investing game is that one more person I get to network with. Because that's what we're doing is we got to work as a team. And all of our coaching, all of our platforms, educating, etc., even deals that we pitch is all about connecting with one more person, somebody else that we can do deals with, business with. That's what we're doing with. So Shadow event. Shadow event was a full day, May 20th. We were both virtual and we were both in person. It was I like to say it was a phenomenal event. Every event gets a little bit better, a little bit better. Why does it get better? We are getting more and more clients. We're growing. And that's number one topic that we talk about at the Shadow event is branding, marketing, and advertising. When people think about selling or buying a mobile home, they think about me. Why do they think about me? Because I'm all over the place. Social media, physical, you name it, Craigslist, Let Go, Offroad, Classify, Facebook. We are everywhere. Think about some of these massive businesses, Coca-Cola, Adidas, Nike. You know about them because you know about them. They're everywhere. Commercials, that's what you got to do. And a lot of people immediately get into this whole thing. Well, I'm really just trying to get started, or I've only done a couple of deals, maybe. Stop belittling yourself and start acting as if you belong. That this is coaching from Saturday morning. It's like you have to get out there. If you want people to know about you and you're trying to really boom in this business, you're gonna have to start talking like you're part of and as if you belong. And that's what branding, marketing, and advertising is all about. Even before I had many deals, it's talk as if you will. You attract that success to you. So that's what we're trying to do. But some of these guys that were at the event, and I'm shocked. I love hearing success stories. Success stories are what gets me driven, going. And I myself and I am still always learning. Some people say, well, Jay, you know everything there is to about it. You know, it's easy for you. You got the connections, you have the network. Yes, we've established a phenomenal, obviously, connection network business. We're steady going and we're always building. Okay. But it does not mean that we can't keep learning. Okay. This isn't high school. This isn't middle school. You're always learning as an entrepreneur. Okay. Diplomas don't mean anything. I graduated means nothing. I'm going to keep learning because I know there's always different ways and there's always market changes. Okay. Market corrections, which we have something coming up, but I don't want to get into that. So you always having to pivot. Now, when you pivot, it means you have to relearn again. Now I have to approach this in a whole different way that I was not before because times have changed. There's something different going on now. For me to stay above, and I don't like to say competition, but above my competition, I have to shift into this new change. You have to adapt. Some of you out there, and I'm not calling nobody out, but some of you out there, you treat business almost as if you're driving an enormous boat, a cruise ship. Oh, I have to go 60 miles before I can turn and come back around, and maybe I can make that curve or I'm going to have to back up. Then I'll start heading back this way. You have to be a jet ski in this business. Zigzag move. Let's go and let's get it on. If there's a change, I have to shift immediately. By the time the quotations competition gets to it, I'm already there. And that's what you got to do. And that's what we talked about. So, the shadow event, I don't know how many more of those we have, but it's definitely, connecting with people. And it's, excuses or results. Which one do you want and which one will benefit you? I hear excuses every day. And hey, once upon a time, I was a victim of excuses. Well, I'm a little tired today. Well, the family wants to do this, so I better go with it. You know, I'm not here to tell you what to do when it comes to that, but I am here to tell you that when it comes to trying to be successful, and as Dave Ramsey, which I agree, I disagree with, would say, is to live like no one else. You have to first live like no one else. And I see that as a sacrifice. If I'm trying to be wealthy, successful, trying to live an abundance life and be able to give to my family, I first have to live a life of sacrifice. I cannot be taking these picnic breaks and I can't make it here or I'm too tired for here. You can live that life. That is a stretch of, and it'll take you longer and longer. We had 30 people. That was a max seat amount, 30 people that could join the shadow event live in person. We have plenty of seats, virtual, Zoom, which we'll talk about that later because, yes, my team, just the setup. When I make the shadow event, I try to make it as real. That is as real as it gets. You are in a mobile home, inside of a mobile home community, learning to invest in the mobile home community. That's what I'm trying to build out. We've had these events at the conference centers and different areas, and that was great. That was definitely a beautiful setup. But it came back to this whole, I think, yeah, I think I can see that kind of thing. I don't want to step back into this thought vision. I want you there, real, live, and in person. That's what the mobile home investing and that's what the shadow is. So when it came to the virtual, it did take away a little bit because we don't have sound effects all throughout the mobile home. This is inside of a mobile home. So we're trying to make the best of it. But anyway, you know, we had 30 people. That was the max. And that's because, I like to be personal. I like to get with everybody, answer any questions, and get to meet everybody. We had an event like this. We've had many shadow events, but we had one about 2 years ago where we had 60 people. That was a job. I love that so many people joined us, but I did not get to meet everybody. I know I didn't get to answer everybody's questions, and I don't like that. My goal when it comes to this giving back is that I'm teaching people and I'm really connecting with people. If people leave there and they didn't get their answers, their questions answered, I failed them. That's the way I see it. Okay. So I like to keep these personal and I like to keep these safe. Safe meaning that mobile homes are small. We're going to take you inside of mobile homes that are distressed, fixer-uppers, abandoned, you name them, whatever you want. Bottom line is they're not livable, which means that there's soft floors, soft walls, soft ceilings. You got to be careful. So trying to put 60 people inside of one of these ain't gonna happen. All right. So we try to do that. But 30 people, that was the cap limit. I told my team, do not let past 30 go by. 30 people signed up, and it happened quickly. Now, some of those people went from live to, hey, I can't make it, something happened, etc. That's fine. So they converted from live in person attendance to virtual, which most of them didn't join virtual. Okay. Hey, I can't force you to do something you don't want to do. Okay. But so we had that. So a couple seats opened up. So new people got to come in. We had a waiting list. Two more people dropped because, hey, something else came up. That's okay. Two more people got to join in person. And then, and I mean, that went all the way throughout the Saturday morning into the call. I know Crystal, one of our admins, was getting emails at 5, 6, 7 in the morning, which is fine. But again, it's like, how bad do you want it? Okay, and I will share the story that I shared with the investors at the event. But you know, we had people that were an hour away, 2 hours away. Yes, Georgia, and they said they can't make it because it's too much traffic. It's a little too far. Again, I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm just here to make a statement of principle more so. How bad do you want it? I have two phenomenal, okay, and I'm calling you out in a good way, phenomenal investors out of California that joined us. You managed to plan the trip, fly out, get you a rental, get you a hotel to attend this event. That to me, I mean, I can't say how grateful I am to have you. We had people out of North Carolina. We had people out of South Carolina. We had people out of New York. We had people out of Miami, Florida, okay, Tampa, Florida. What is your excuse? It always goes back to that. And I feel like I'm talking, like my coach would say to me, it's like, Jay, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to sit here and listen to your excuses and your worries. I don't want to hear that. But when you're ready, come to me. That was my coach. So I love giving back. And again, nobody called out, but it's like, how bad do you want it? It goes back to that, right? So love the people that joined us. It was a definitely a great event, which summertimes is always. I don't know how many more shadows we'll have. I really don't. And the reason behind it is we are getting more involved with the cities, the counties, the state. We're getting into more government housing. We already do veteran assistant housing. We do elderly housing. We do Section 8 housing. And it was hard to get involved with those at start. It just seemed like they don't really want to deal with us. They too saw mobile homes as a stigma, which wasn't in our favor. But now they're calling us every week, every day. Jay, we got more people with the vouchers. We got Section 8 we got 30 people waiting with vouchers. You said you had housing. Now we're sitting there waiting and you're not providing. I am doing what the government is not doing. And I'm okay with that. But we're having to step up our game. We committed to something and I will deliver. But it's one of those things. It's like now it's just not me, myself, and I. When I have events like shadow events, I have investors. I have a team that I know that they will go out and invest and rehab and provide housing. And now, well, I know you're waiting on Jay, but hey, Jay has students, he has investors, and they have houses too. That's how you provide the wealth. It goes in a giant circle, and what goes around comes around, right? So look, I can keep talking about the shadow. I love the shadow event. Absolutely. A lot of stuff is coming. And when I say a lot, we got big, big, big announcements coming up. I can't talk about them just yet. Give me about 2 weeks and we'll start talking about those. So definitely stay tuned with those. Um, but tonight's coaching is about exit strategies. And the reason I want to talk about exit strategies is because we have another event coming up on June 10th. Stay towards the end of the call, the coaching, and we'll talk about those as well. So, all right, let's see. Strategies. Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna go down the line and kind of just list the exit strategies. Now, one thing about me is I will never teach anybody, coach anybody about something I am not doing. If I have not tested the waters out yet, and if it didn't work out, I have no reason teaching you because I'm not a teacher. I'm a coach and I'm a mentor. I'm gonna coach you what works and what I am doing because I can tell you from firsthand personal that works, right? Wholesaling. Number one key strategy, whether you're in real estate investing or mobile home investing, is wholesaling means one of those strategies where you have no funds, no money out of pocket, and you can get into this business like a champion. You can come in and secure a property, a mobile home, and act as an owner, but have no money into it. You're simply assigning it. That's what wholesale is. You are assigning this mobile home to somebody else, and your quotations being paid for your time. That's a beautiful strategy. Now, me, myself, and I prefer double wholesale, but that would require money. Now, if you follow some of our social media, some of our channels, and I believe the double wholesale is free on our YouTube, it teaches you step by step. That basically means I'm a little concerned with the seller that may try to cut me out of the deal, etc. So I want to pay them off and get them out of the picture. That's always a better structure. So go back and check that one out. You got buy and hold, buy and hold, and as I'm going through these strategies, it's not this one or that one or this one. It's always and. I learned that from a preacher. Jay, stop talking about or. You're not replacing, you're adding. So I do wholesale and rentals and flips and Airbnbs. That's a beautiful way because you're creating more and more strategies, more exit passive income. So think about it that way. You're not replacing any of them. And if any of these make you money, why would you replace them? Right? Buy and hold. Buy and hold could be a rental. Rentals are, and I'll talk about rentals, landlords, and all the responsibilities, which they are. There's a lot of responsibilities when it comes to that. Rentals, however, like anything else, has the pros and they have the cons. There's some cons that go with it, and there's some pros that go with it. But hey, everything in life does, right? So when it comes to that, is rentals are the longest passive income. Think about renting a mobile home for 5 years, 10 years. You've been sitting there collecting passive income from a rental for 5 years, 12, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. And now you're going to convert it into a lease option. You will be able to sell that mobile home for the value that it's going for in that market at that time and have made all that money beforehand. So it's not a bad reason. You just got to have a better structure. And that's one of the questions that came in through at the shadow was, Jay, I don't have time to be a landlord. I don't want to manage properties. So, you talk about doing rentals maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and then do a lease option. Who's going to manage my property? There is management teams out there. Okay. The manager of the community could be your manager team because they're already in the area, they're boots on the ground, and they're at the location. So you got to get creative with this. Rentals. Then you got lease options. Lease options, rent to owns, notes, all similar a little bit. You're basically playing the bank. You are now no longer a landlord. Far from it. Okay. If you went out there and got a loan from Wells Fargo, BB&T, Bank of America, you name it, any of those big institute banks, out there, you would not call them and say, "Hey, my toilet is leaking." You can if you want. What do you think they're going to say? What do you want me to do about it? Nothing they can do about it because they are not a landlord. They are simply financing for you. And when you do some of these options, lease option, rent to owns, create a note, you are financing to people. But you got to be clear on that when you're structuring the paperwork. Hey, I'm not a landlord. This is something that I'm offering an opportunity for you that banks, credit unions, etc., would not do for you. And I can create this for you. But any maintenance, any repairs, they're upon you. Simple as how you structure it. You got to put it together, right? Section 8. A lot of people, when you say Section 8, a lot of people, they kind of want to walk away. Okay, there's that thought involved again, and I was talking about this Saturday when I say, hey, let's not call community parks or mobile home parks trailer parks anymore. Somebody said, well, why don't you want to call them trailer parks? Because when somebody calls them trailer parks, they immediately think about drugs. They think about M&M. They think about the rap system. And I'm not calling anybody out, but it's like, there's a bad vibe. So call them communities. That's what we're trying to build. And if you visit some of these mobile home parks, depending on where you're at, that's exactly what they are. It's a community. Everybody knows everybody. It's one giant family, if you will. They all look out for each other, is what I'm trying to say. But Section 8 can be in the mix. Section 8 gets a bad vibe because drugs and etc. But we do Section 8 now and we not had an issue. Here's what happens with Section 8. Section 8 is a government voucher, meaning that the government is going to pay X amount of money every month for this individual or this family to live in this area, wherever it may be that they approve, and whatever else they can't cover, meaning the difference of The tenant, the resident, call them if you will, they'll make the difference. And it's not much what they do. Example of something like that is Dublin, Georgia. We charge $700 a month. The government pays $675. So that means that the tenant, the resident, has to come up with $125. Not very hard to do, right? Now you will think, well, why would somebody paying $125 care, yay or nay, or one way or the other? Because if they don't do right by the government, by the vouchers that they've already been approved, they can be denied permanently. So think about that from their standpoint. It's like, I'm not going to ruin my chances, my opportunities of getting this voucher because I'm being loud. I'm stirring trouble out there in the community. Those people that are doing Section 8, we've not had one complaint of. They do what they're supposed to do and they pay on time. So all how you look at it, okay? Veteran assistance is another one. A little different than Section 8. They do require, and this can be a little difficult getting into, the whole government housing, but because of the requirements, the laws, the rules, etc., they can be demanding. But once they approve you, we have not had an issue. They told us early on, we're going to come back every 30 days. We're going to walk inside the properties, review them, etc. I've not seen them. They've never came back. Okay, no complaints, no nothing is happening. And one thing about the government, they always pay on time. Every time, every month, 30th of the month, I don't have to chase that payment. It's there. So that's a beautiful thing, right? Elderly housing, same thing. Elderly and veteran assistance housing would be similar. A lot of that has to be handicapped. So you will have to make your doors wider. Your bathrooms, you'll have to make them based on the standards that they require. You may even have outside, you have to have handicap. Maybe some of them are on wheelchairs. So you got to be mindful of this. And again, they give you a form where it's like rule. You just got to abide by that. Some people will steer away from that. I engage in it because again, to me, that's just one more way I can provide housing, affordability housing, and one more way of passive income. That's the way I look at it, right? Let's keep going. Extended stay. We had before the shadow event, I want to say about 6 weeks before the shadow event, which was the Saturday, we had an extended stay. Extended stay meaning that, yes, much like what you see motels, hotels, and some of these that are getting a little creative out there, hotels is basically week stays. We started doing that and we thought immediately, one thing we have not done is we done everything with mobile homes at this time. We created new exit strategies, but we thought, what about campers? What about fifth wheels? What about RVs? RVs, we immediately neglected, we got rid of because there's a lot more maintenance. When you got an RV, you have the whole maintenance when it comes to the actual vehicle itself because they drive themselves. So we didn't want to get engaged in something like that. But we did want to keep up the fifth wheels, the campers, pull behinds, name them as you will. And we thought, these things have everything in them. There's no need for furnishing. Fridge, stove, couches, TVs, radio, everything is in them. They're built that because campers and fifth wheels are not technically considered affordability housing. They're actually considered a luxury item. It's something above and beyond. Now, you can still get good deals, but you got to really know what you're doing out there. So we got a few of those, and that's exactly what they're doing. One of them is doing next stay. Another one is doing Airbnb. Another one is doing a lease option. All these options you can do, rinse, repeat, and keep going. So that's another one. Airbnb. Yes, we do Airbnb in mobile homes. We do Airbnbs in campers, fifth wheels, pull behinds, you name it. All these strategies can. And I'll tell you this right now. Airbnb is craving. Airbnb is craving for campers. Campers you can put anywhere. And unlike mobile homes where a single one may take 5,000-6,000 to move, transport, you can move a camper, borrowing a truck, SUV, large enough SUV. You can go to Home Depot and rent a truck, Enterprise and rent a truck. Look, I'm giving you secrets and details, and I'm still on a Saturday shadow high. That's what it is. Okay. Let me keep going. We're almost done. It's 8:30. 30 minutes on a Sunday ain't enough. I've said that over and over. Y'all let me know if you want to do an hour long. But pet infill, that would be the next one. So, and at one point you're building relationships, you're building a network, and the more people know you, the more people will want to do business with you. We have a lot of community park operators, meaning owners that call us and say, Jay, I have about 10 pads vacant. Could you bring some mobile homes, or could you provide us mobile homes? Yes and yes. That's one more exit strategy, one more passive way of income, right? We have transport, mobile homes. Mobile means being able to be mobile. You can transport them. We've had areas where we didn't get along with the communities after a while, maybe different type of management, new owners, etc. This is not stick built. This is not real estate. If I need to move my mobile home from point A to point B, wherever that may be, I can do so because that's what a mobile home is. I don't have to be glued to the land. I can move this thing somewhere else. Maybe the community where I was currently investing has raised the lot rent so high that I can't make a profit and I'm not going to stick around. However, there's a community down the street that is half of what this is. I will take my mobile home down there. Okay. Now let me talk about the next event because that is the next exit strategy. You talk about, and I'll quick little recap. You got wholesale, you got bird dogs, you got rentals, you got flips, you got lease options, rent to owns, okay? Notes. You can create notes and you can sell notes, by the way, at a discount and still get the profits in there. You can do Section 8s, Airbnb, extended stay, veteran assistant housing, elderly housing. Yes, we are doing all the above, and all of you should be doing the same thing. All these are one more stream of income that you can get money, you can get paid. Saturday morning, I heard a lot about this whole I want to replace my income, I want to get out of my corporate job. Do it with mobile homes. You don't have to be glued to something. You can do Section 8, veteran assistance. All these exit strategies are one more stream of income that can and will replace your income. I I got rid of my corporate job 3 years ago. Best thing I ever did. And much like my coach would say, is you will look back and say, what took so long? And I did. I waited way too long to sit there and think, what am I doing here? I mean, I'm profiting 3 times the amount. And I know that if I can free this amount of time, I can put it into my mobile home investing business and I will double, triple, quadruple. And sure enough, the day I quit, second day, I was growing. I was booming. So, hey, next strategy would be create not a mobile home park. Mobile home parks are good. We've wholesale some mobile home parks. That's definitely something that all of you will graduate, as I call, into. But what about a piece of land? Private land where I can bring maybe one, two, three mobile homes or more. It's not a mobile home park, and there's pros and cons like everything else. But what if I can get private land? If I can get a piece of private land somewhere that it's zoned for mobile homes, there is not going to be any more mobile home park rules. Some mobile home park rules keep me from being able to make a sale, keep me from being able to make a transaction where I can get a tenant in the house. Okay, no more monthly lot rent. Okay, every month we got to pay a lot rent on that pad, whatever it may be in the community. I don't have to pay that anymore. What about the no third party validation? Sometimes we do a background on some of these tenants or buyers, and I see little things that I'll be a little weary, but I also see where they've done better and better. And I say, based on what I believe in and what I agree with, they're okay. The community, however, says not happening. We're not approving them because of this or that. Their standards, as they tell me, is Jay, our standards are higher. Sure. Okay. But that whatever that may be costs me a tenant or costs me a buyer. So you don't have to have that anymore. Okay. No more depreciating to your mobile home. Don't forget that mobile homes are personal property, meaning much like a car, boat, motorcycle, when you drive them off the lot, they do what? They depreciate. Now, I don't care. We invest in many, many mobile homes that are inside of communities, and I don't care about the depreciation level because if these things are being rented or being sold as a rent to own, etc., and they're making me $700 to $1,000 a month, do I really care what some Kelly Blue Book out there says they're worth? Dollar, 100,000? I don't care. It's making me $1,000 a month. Doesn't matter to me, right? But if you have a piece of land, if you bring that mobile home on this piece of land, and again, it's got to be zoned for mobile homes, and you detach that mobile home from my personal property, meaning that I'm going to convert. It is no longer a personal property, it's going to be part of the deed, part of the real estate. Now that mobile home will appreciate. Okay, that mobile home will appreciate in value. So I will take that piece of land, I will take that mobile home, I will make it livable, presentable, and I will be able to comp it, use comparables based on the area. Now, what if in the area all you have is stick built houses? You can compare to those houses based on the same square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. So a mobile home, for example, you may have the biggest single wide, which would be a 16 by 80. That's the width by the length. Now, if you multiply those 16 by 80, that gives you the square footage. Can I comp this mobile home to the house down the street? Absolutely. And that is a huge value markup. And again, no more depreciating because now that mobile home actually will appreciate. It is now considered real estate. June 10th, that is our next event. June 10th, we're going to be at a property up north in Georgia where we're going to be with a brand new setup mobile home on a private piece of land. And we're going to be talking about all these strategies. Why all of you should invest sooner or later on a mobile home that it does not require to be in a community. No more rules, regulations, validations, depreciation, none of that. You're going to be talking about your own personal. And I mean, when I talk about endless opportunities, quick example, maybe I have this piece of land with 2 mobile homes. I don't want to sell the land. They're not making no more land. So I'm going to keep up. I'm going to keep up with it. Well, why don't you treat this piece of land like a mobile home park? I will sell the mobile home to individuals as a rent only option, whatever it may be, for X amount. And they will continue to pay me the lot rent like a community. 10 years down the road, I may say, let's go ahead and sell the land to them. Now let's do a lease option or some type of financing, creative financing on the land in itself, right? So you're doubling, tripling, quadrupling your money here because you're offering opportunities. That's what mobile homes and land are. Land packages. June 10th, if you can join us, limited seats as usual. We don't want too many people in one inside mobile home. So I don't know that I put and I'm gonna look at Instagram here in a minute. I know I'm paying attention to Zoom, but let's see. Send me an email. I'll put my email on here. I will put it on here one more time and I will answer any emails. 1 second, Garcia. There we go. I'm going to pin it. If you are interested in joining this event, it is not listed on the event yet. On the calendar, on the website, none of that is not listed yet. But definitely send me an email. I know a lot of the people from the shadow were talking about joining as well, so that's a given. You join one event, you go to the next one and the next one, and you keep growing. That's the goal of what we're trying to do. Okay, so all right, let me answer a couple of these questions on Instagram, and then it's after 8:30. So TJ, good evening as always. Good to see you, sir. I'm sure you're out driving somewhere. You are a CDO driver. Wasn't working. Well, TJ, you've been to a shadow, so you know what that's about. But let's see. Okay. Send us an email. Don't forget on Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST time, we have the deals pitched. That's where we pitch the best off-market mobile home deals live on Instagram here, live on Zoom. We'll do the recording. We'll put it on YouTube, and you can join us on that as well. If you have a deal, you're going to see some emails being sent out. And if you're not part of our CRM or emails, send us an email. Hey, add me to your emails for any deals, any coachings available coming up, because you definitely want to be part of that. Any deals you want to pitch on here, you're welcome to bring them onto our call. There's no cost to that. I mean, these things are free. So definitely join us on that as well. But Tuesday, we'll pitch the deals. We'll display the spreadsheet, which all of you should have. If you don't have it, again, send us an email, j@garciamhu.com. We'll share it with you, and you'll have a list of all of our inventory. This is all off market. This is all inside of communities that allow subleasing, that welcome investors. And if you're a GMHU student, they love you already. So a lot of the things we're working on. But all right, that's going to do it for this evening. I went over a little bit. Okay. A couple more stories I can share with you, but that's going to do it for tonight. So hope to see you on Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST time. Thank you for watching.